Hey guys, Juliana here with JulianaCrawley.com, and I'm an emotional wellness coach. I'm here with Darwit Lovett. She's a life coach, and we're going to talk today about how emotions are simply energy in motion. Darwit, do you want to
Yes.
start?
Sure. So I wanted to look up a couple of definitions of energy, so it can kind of help us build an understanding of exactly what that is and how it relates to emotion. So, according to Google, in physics, energy is the quantitative property that is transferred to a body or to a physical system, recognizable in the performance of work and in the form of heat and light. Energy is a conserved quantity. The law of conservation of energy states that energy can be converted in form, but not created or destroyed. In addition, another simple definition of energy is that scientists define energy as the ability to do work. Modern civilization is possible because people have learned how to change energy from one form to another and then use it to do work. I like both of these definitions of energy because it kind of helps us wrap our mind around what it is in motion. We have the capacity as human beings to read and perceive energy in the form of our five senses, right? When what everything is energy and it vibrates at a variety of frequencies. When that frequency, when that wave hits your eye sends a signal to your brain and it communicates an image to you. The same thing with what you're hearing. It really is just energy vibrating at a variety of frequencies. That information is sent to the brain and it is it perceived as whatever it is that you're registering in your experience. Emotion is like a sixth sense. It's our ability to receive information at the energetic level, and that information or that energy is there to deliver information. It's a message. So when we are experiencing an emotion, to lean into it, try to understand what the intention, what the energy of that emotion is, what message is being communicated to us. In addition to the definitions of energy, according to conservation, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is simply transformed. So we really have this powerful potential as individual human beings when we're experiencing energy in the form of emotion. We're receiving that information. If we make a priority our ability or intention to understand the information, to recognize whether or not we are perceiving this experience or this emotion in the highest way possible. And then we can transform that energy, what we allow to move through us, what we project, what we communicate to those around us. We can actually transmute. Someone can send to you a criticism that feels negative, but through creating that space between stimulus and response, processing the experience, receiving the information, identifying whether or not the intention behind the words communicated was different from what you initially heard. So you're pressing pause on a reaction and trying to interpret it in the highest way possible, and then sending out, allowing that energy to move through you in the most positive way possible, communicating that message. You have the ability to transmute that negative energy into something positive. Whether or not we are communicating that to another person or we're communicating it to ourselves, then we have the potential to transform any situation, any emotional feeling or experience into something that can be incredibly powerful and enhance our understanding of not only ourselves, but those around us.
So I think that a lot of times we're just not taught as children how to handle our emotions. We're told, to sit down and be quiet, not nurtured in a way that we're comfortable having the emotions. So a lot of times we're scared of the emotion. And so we shove it down or we try to avoid it. And what happens is that those emotions can trap and they can become dense and heavy. And so when we're triggered, it's okay to go ahead and feel that, but instead of immediately responding, we learn how to observe and to pause and to go ahead and just feel sad. So if, if you lose a loved one and emotion rushes over you, instead of trapping that by just ignoring it and shoving it down, what we can do is we can go take some time to cry and, call a friend and do some self-care. Maybe if someone makes you mad, well, what we can do is we can release these anger and frustration and resentment emotions. We can take that step back and say, okay, I see a pattern. A lot of personal growth is choosing to be aware and being willing to observe what patterns you have with these emotions when they come up, what pattern is taking place, because those aren't always healthy. Sometimes they're patterns we created in childhood to protect ourselves. So now that we're able to acknowledge that, wait a second, we can stop, take a deep breath, and then respond to the situation.
Juliana is saying anytime we are experiencing a reaction in our lives and interaction or communication with another person, then that is an indication that an old program, a trapped emotion, is being activated inside of us. So we can use our reactivity as cues to really go inside and explore where that's coming from or what that is. Hiring Juliana to work emotion code with you so that you can release some of these trapped emotions, then you become better able to respond. When we are responding, we are being responsible human beings, and responsible means we are response able. I am less likely to react in any given situation, and I am more likely to respond in any given situation with full awareness and understanding.
Yes. And so this allows us to use the information. We can say, okay, I see you. And I thank you for the information. And I'm going to now choose how I'm going to respond to it. Instead of being driven by our emotions, we are actually back in control of evaluating the situation. So as an emotional wellness coach, what I do is I work with people who are willing to take a moment to observe their responses to certain situations. Because once we realize exactly where we need to improve, then we can focus on releasing emotions that will help you to vibrate at your highest and most authentic level. You naturally start attracting more positive and high vibe situations into your life instead of subconsciously attracting the negative ones. So we can work together and release emotions and set some goals and work toward becoming the best version and most authentic version of ourselves.
Absolutely. And when you have done the emotion code work and you are releasing these trapped emotions that are causing a repetition of these patterns, reactive patterns in your life, then I can help clients create that space or explore the space between stimulus and response so that we can increase our awareness and our understanding of who we are, what our patterns have been, so that we can, in a psychological, fully consciously aware state, be more response able in our lives. It's empowering. Empowerment is basically our knowing that we have choice in any given situation. So with the releasing of the trapped emotions and with the opportunity to explore all the information that is floating around and exists in that space between stimulus and response, then you can completely create so many shifts, positive shifts in your life, becoming more aware, more empowered, and like Juliana said, absolutely more authentic and aligned in your life.
Yes, perfect. So if you need us, you can reach us through the websites below, and hope you have a great day.